Right. Today we're taking a deep dive into something small, but potentially mighty.
Yes, we are. Our source is a pretty detailed review of the ASUS NUC 14 Pro AI Mini PC.
And our mission really is to unpack this review, pull out the key bits, and understand what makes this little PC tick, especially its performance and these AI-ready features everyone's talking about.
Exactly. And, the first thing that jumps out from the review is just how unassuming it looks.
Yeah, this charcoal gray box slips onto a desk, hides behind a monitor. Very low-key.
It really is. It's kind of amazing how much power they can squeeze into these tiny packages now. You wouldn't guess just by looking at it.
Okay, so let's get into it. What's under the hood? What gives this thing its power, according to the review?
Well, the absolute core is Intel's Core Ultra 7 155H processor. It's one of their newer chips, really designed for compact systems like this.
And the specs for that chip, they sound pretty beefy for a mini PC.
Oh, yeah. 16 cores, 22 threads, 24 megs of cache, and it can boost up to 4.8 gigahertz. Quite impressive for the size.
And the review mentioned how it handles demanding tasks.
It did. They said it felt completely unfazed by stuff you wouldn't normally throw at a mini PC.
Like what?
Things like compiling large code bases, rendering 3D scenes, even running several virtual machines at once. The reviewer's take was it just handled it.
Right, that multi-threaded performance using all those cores, that must be key for the heavy lifting.
Absolutely. That's what you need for video encoding, scientific simulations, anything that can really utilize all those threads. But the review also made a point about the single-threaded performance, which is just as important, really.
For everyday stuff.
Exactly. That's what makes opening apps feel instant, browsing feel smooth, just that day-to-day snappiness.
Okay, so strong CPU. What about memory? The review mentioned 32 gigs of DDR5.
Yep, 32 gigabytes of DDR5, 5600. And that much fast RAM is crucial if you're multitasking heavily or working with, say, large data sets.
Things like big spreadsheets, maybe high-res photo editing.
Precisely. Or data analysis tools, things that eat up memory. The review said it handles these without the system, bogging down.
And they noticed a real difference compared to older RAM.
They did.
Yeah.
The reviewer specifically said there was no stutter, even when they were really pushing it. Loads of browser tabs, video calls, Office apps all running together.
Right.
And they stressed that the jump to DDR5 at that 5600 speed wasn't just numbers on a page. They felt a real perceptible boost in system fluidity compared to older DDR4 machines. Everything just felt smoother.
Okay, CPU and RAM are fast, but storage speed is vital too. It's got a 1 TB PCIe 4.0 SSD. What was the impact of that?
Blisteringly fast was the term used, I think.
Really?
Yeah, the review measured read and write speeds up around 5,000 millibeats, maybe more.
And what does that mean for you, the user?
It means your OS boots almost instantly. Transferring huge files like video projects or installing games takes seconds, not minutes.
That sounds like a game changer, especially for creatives.
Totally. The review mentioned smooth playback of 4K, even some 8K footage right in the editor. And yeah, game install times become mercifully short.
Got it. Okay, core performance seems solid. Let's shift to graphics in this AI angle. Graphics are handled by Intel Arc Integrated.
Correct. The integrated Intel Arc GPU. The review kind of positioned it as a big step up for integrated graphics, trying to bridge that gap to discrete cards.
So not a high-end gaming card, obviously.
No, definitely not competing there. But for a mini PC, it punches well above its weight, as the review put it.
Capable of some light gaming, maybe?
Yeah, they mentioned getting respectable frame rates in popular esports titles at full HD. So good enough for casual gaming.
And for creative work. Any benefits there?
Yes, hardware-accelerated encoding and decoding for modern video codecs. That speeds up video editing and processing significantly. And this ties right into the AI part.
Okay, let's talk about that AI-ready claim. Is it just marketing fluff, or is there actual hardware involved?
No, the review is quite clear it's hardware-backed. The Core Ultra CPU and the Arc graphics have specific AI acceleration blocks built right in.
Dedicated silicon.
Basically, yeah. Designed to speed up AI calculations. And they're optimized for frameworks like OpenVINO and OneAPI Intel's software tools for AI.
So it actually does stuff faster for AI.
That's the idea. What the review found interesting was how capable it made this little box feel as an AI development platform.
Development, not just running AI apps.
Right. If you're experimenting with machine learning models, running real-time demos, or using generative AI tools, the review suggests this NUC is a surprisingly robust platform for that kind of work. Much more than you'd expect from something this small.
That is interesting. Okay, but packing all that into a tiny box. What about heat? Did the review mention thermals? How does it stay cool?
Yeah, they looked into that. Seems ASUS put some real effort into the thermal design. The review confirmed the components stay within good temperature ranges, even under heavy AI workloads.
How? What's the cooling like?
It uses a dual-fan cooling system inside.
And noise. Small fans can get whiny.
Apparently not. The reviewer specifically said it was commendably quiet. Even under load, the noise didn't become a distracting drone, which is definitely a plus.
Good to hear. And surface temps were okay too. Safe for the desk.
Yep, remained within comfortable limits. No need for a cooling pad or anything.
Okay, practicalities. Connectivity is always key. What about ports?
It's actually pretty stacked for its size. 2 Thunderbolt 4 compatible Type-C ports are the headliners.
Thunderbolt 4? That means fast data, display output.
Super fast data, yes.
Oh.
And support for high-res displays. You can even daisy-chain monitors, potentially up to 8K, according to the spec.
And those Type-C ports also do USB 3.2, Gen 2x2. What does that mean again?
Yeah, Gen 2x2. It basically uses 2 data lanes at once to hit speeds up to 20 Gbps over USB-C. Significantly faster than your standard USB-C port. Serious bandwidth.
Got it. What else?
You also get multiple standard USB-A ports, an HDMI 2.1 output good for modern displays, and a 2.5 GbE Ethernet jack.
2.5 gigabit Ethernet. Faster than standard gigabit.
Exactly. The review noted it's a nice middle ground. Faster network storage access connects well to modern routers, without jumping all the way to 10 gigabit, which can be more complex and costly. Good for shifting large files on your local network quickly.
Makes sense. And wireless.
All modern stuff. Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3 built right in.
So pretty future-proofed on the connectivity front. Smooth Wi-Fi, cloud syncs, wireless audio. All covered.
Yep, seems very well equipped there.
Any included software worth mentioning?
There's a simple utility from ASUS. The review found it mainly useful for just monitoring system health. You know, temps, fan speeds, power draw, real-time feedback.
Did it have performance modes?
It did. A one-click switch between quiet, performance, and standard modes. Adjust cooling and power limits.
Which did the reviewer prefer?
They mostly used performance mode for testing, understandably. But they did mention quiet mode was handy for things like video calls or light office work, where you want absolute minimum fan noise.
Okay, sounds good. But there's usually a catch. What was the main downside or quibble from the review?
Predictably, it's the price tag. The review positions it right at the premium end of the mini PC market. It's not cheap.
So maybe not the best value if all you care about is, say, gaming.
Right. The review pointed out that if you just want raw gaming GPU power, you could probably get better bang for your buck with a larger desktop and a dedicated mid-range graphics card for the same money.
But there's a justification for the cost.
Well, yes, according to the source. The argument is, if your desk space is really valuable, or if you need this specific blend, a sleek, powerful, all-in-one workhorse that also serves as a capable platform for messing with emerging AI workloads.
Right, that AI development angle again.
Exactly. Then the review suggests the price starts to look more justified because of that unique combination of features in such a small package.
Okay, let's wrap up the review's findings then. What was the final verdict, the overall assessment?
They called it a compelling fusion. Small form factor convenience meets desktop class performance. That was the main takeaway.
So recapping those strengths one last time.
The powerful Intel Core Ultra 7 chip, plenty of that fast DDR5 RAM, the speedy PCIe 4.0 SSD.
Making it capable for demanding work, creation, even some gaming.
Right. And crucially, those built-in AI acceleration features. The review really emphasized those as making it genuinely ready for future AI-driven tasks.
Plus the connectivity.
Yes, the robust port selection, Thunderbolt 4, 2.5 GbE, and the modern wireless, all helping it slot easily into a modern setup, whether that's an office or a creative studio.
So the bottom line from the review was?
Basically, if you want a really potent machine that stays out of the way, doesn't compromise much on capability, and has an eye on those future AI tasks, this NUC is hard to ignore, a very strong contender in its niche.
Okay. So what does all this mean for you listening? This deep dive really highlights how the ASUS NUC 14 Pro AI Mini PC packs serious power, speed, and those future-looking AI capabilities into a remarkably small box.
Yeah, and this could be really relevant if you're, say, trying to seriously declutter your desk but still need performance. Or maybe you're a creative pro who needs fast workflows and high-speed connections in a compact form.
Or, like we discussed, maybe you're just curious about AI development and want a dedicated, capable machine to experiment on that isn't a huge tower.
Exactly.
Which leads to a final thought, maybe. How might this trend, this push towards miniaturization, combined with powerful, specialized hardware like AI accelerators, change what we expect from desktop computing in the next few years? What new ways of working or creating does this open up, especially in smaller spaces? Something to ponder.